with the announcement of a war of not just a military degradation, but also strikes directly against the leadership of the country in Iran. There's clearly a belief in the markets that there's not all that much damage that Iran and its proxies are capable of doing, and that they don't believe, anyway, that this war is likely to persist for all that long. Over the last 2 years, the big change in the Middle East has been escalation dominance militarily by Israel and the United States, sometimes operating together, sometimes Israel operating separately. But clearly, there's been, as a consequence of that, a very big shift in geopolitical power away from Iran and the axis of resistance towards Israel. And that was beginning with the Abraham Accords. Of course, you saw that play out geopolitically in President Trump's first term. We saw it in the response to the October 7th attacks and the Gaza war. And now we saw it with strikes against Hezbollah over the last year. And now we see it most dramatically with the announcement of a war of not just a military degradation, but also strikes directly against the leadership of the country in Iran. All of this is part of the same story, frankly. The gas price shot up quite a bit for the Europeans because, it's only the United States and Qatar that are providing most of their supply. So that's a really big problem for them. But this was a preemptive move, I think, by Qatar. The damage that was done was relatively minimal, but they want to ensure that they are stepping up their own defenses before they restart that flow. So I think this is much more of a defensive move. It's a precautionary move. We saw the same thing in a Saudi refinery over the last 24 hours as well, where the damage was relatively limited, nothing close to what we've seen from the Iranians with earlier strikes. But nonetheless, these are countries that want to make sure that they're doing everything they can to defend their energy. And I think that's the reason why oil prices at this point are only up $10, and those are spot prices. The longer term futures, not as liquid a market, are actually down less. And as a consequence of that, there's clearly a belief in the markets that there's not all that much damage that Iran and its proxies are capable of doing, and that they don't believe, anyway, that this war is likely to persist for all that long.